Warning. The following program is a collection of dudes just talking about the happenings in the CrossFit world. It's just meant to be comedically informative. The opinions, especially those of JY, Lil Johnny, do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of the other people on the show. If you take things out of context, just please reconsider watching. That's all. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to The Spin, November 20th.
People need to rewind a little bit to go see the disclaimer at the beginning.
Start over.
Watch it once, twice,
please
three
make
times.
sure you watch the disclaimer.
That's right. Mr. McCockiner first. Veronica Zimmerman, we will not be ignoring the elephant in the room. Thank you for joining. Rich Haas. I can't believe you just called that elephant an elephant. We've not said anything about that elephant. Yeah, fun 24 hours. Good news.
I've had a blast.
Pool Boy has sent an email. We're good. Welcome, Miss Dense Updates. Glad to provide you some content. Go check that out on Savon. And Taylor is looking more and more like powder.
I can't help. I don't know what is wrong with my exposure. I've tried to fix it.
All right. Well, we're going to get into it. I know you guys care deeply about the investigation, but we have some things to talk about first.
We have our own investigation.
We have our own investigation. So if you've been living under a rock, you don't have the CrossFit email address, you may not have heard what's going on.
Yeah, if you were off that email chain, it looks like you're not in the cool kids club.
Most people have, but if
I
you
wasn't
haven't, apparently we covered the United Grid League Championship on Sunday. Tried to get them some exposure. Did a pretty good job of it, getting them exposure. And people took offense to John referring to some athletes as Big Mama or a black girl or Laura
Bald.
Horak having sex with her brother. That nobody really said anything for a few days. And then yesterday afternoon, I don't know. Mr. Tom Soroka was offended and decided to
Lit the world on fire.
Decided to go on Instagram and post a clip. I spent way too much time talking with him. He did not like what I had to say. I felt like he
posted it publicly too.
I felt like he misrepresented what was said. I'll share it with that here in a second. Which then facilitated the United Grid League to put out a statement, to which then I shared more of a full context of what was actually said, so you can make up your own mind. He did not like that, so Tom then shared all of the DM messages back and forth, so you can make up your mind about Tom and my conversation. Hiller then went on and made a video himself to evaluate it on top of, I think did he actually receive the email from this person?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So apparently the wife of one of the women who was spoken about. There you go.
Because I don't know.
And I just want to say, we we were trying to bring new eyes to the sport of grid. I'm interested in participating in grid. We wanted to cover it. We wanted to bring a lot more people into the sport. We want to try to blow the sport up, honestly. And we're learning it. We're three guys who don't know a lot about it that are learning the sport.
Two guys who don't know. Well, one guy who knows nothing about it except for the history. Tyler, who loves team sports, but still didn't really watch a whole lot. And John, who has been studying up on it, decided to watch it.
Yeah. So it's never our intent to hurt people's feelings. And there were people that got upset, and I am sorry to those people that got upset. It's not our intent. Everybody that knows me knows I never say anything with maliciousness. And we literally cover every single CrossFit event the exact same way. But these grid people, guys, I know in the comments they're going to get all ate up right now. Grid people don't know us. You know what I mean? And I can see how I talk, because I talk a certain way. I can see how that can upset people if you did not know. And it's caused a lot of flack for my team and my captains. And I am sorry for causing the drama that this has caused. I do think it's a little bit dirty to clip some clips together of me making me sound as bad as you can make me sound, because a lot of that stuff is out of context. I don't know why people are driven to do that. I think that's a dirty move, but everybody knows that we don't do anything with personal intent. And by the way, I'm complimenting them. Like, if you go watch the full thing, Casey and Sydney, the two women in question, I am complimenting them in the moment. It might not feel like a compliment to them, and they don't know me, and again, I feel really bad if their feelings were genuinely hurt. But I'm complimenting him. I feel like I got a little bit straw manned out there, scapegoated out there. I just want the drama to go away. But I do think it's dirty that some people tried to out me with a bunch of clips that are out of context. I do think that's a dirty move. But yeah.
Tyler, what do you think?
As for I've been on a lot of phone calls the past couple days. As for John's language, I'm particularly aggravated at certain characters in this, and I would say that I'm rather pissed off because even though John's from Missouri, we'll grandfather him in from the South. We speak in a certain way, and you can look at whatever's said in whatever light you want. And what I'm pissed off about is that, well, maybe I should go back before I get into being pissed off. I reached out to Sydney and Casey.
It's what I'm trying to do, Billy.
Well, so I reached out to Sydney and Casey, and I wanted to clear it over with them. I wanted to hear their side and then just communicate like where we come from, what we're trying to do, and that there was no malicious intent. And I think that I communicated that. And from what, I understand from Casey and Sydney is that we're good now. And that's where I start to get pissed off at Mr. Soroka. So I don't fucking apologize to Mr. Soroka. I'm not saying sorry to him. There was no malicious intent towards Casey or Sydney. The balding guy, going bald. Anyway.
His name is David Blatt, Tyler.
David.
Get his name.
Oh, David.
Right.
Okay.
David Blatt. Yes, he's 21, and he's got less hair than I do. His name is David Blatt.
So Dave or
Far better
Tom.
gymnastics than I'll ever be.
Sorry, you started me off with David, and I got triggered a little bit. Tom starts off with saying, "John, you don't speak for men." Here's the thing, bro. What men do is if they have the problem, they call each other and they talk it out. They don't go to Instagram. They don't go to the fucking internet and say, "Hey, I have a problem with you and I want everybody to know about it." No, men handle it face to face. And that's why I called Sydney and Casey and handled it with them. Stop being a fucking asshole, dude. Handle it like a human being. Don't air out your bullshit online.
I apologize to nobody. We were doing the show to prop up Grid. And in 2 hours, we're going to say things that may be considered offensive by somebody, but you don't have to get offended. And if you're Tom, you don't have to go post something, take it out of context, which I found out he also posted the strong woman thing from August. So he had a personal vendetta already against John. And he shared that he was actually going through looking to find something that John said wrong. And apparently he had 9 clips that he could do. And he found 4 and put those together. And I talked to him. And I said, you have misrepresented it. You have purposely clipped out words to give a different meaning to what this video is. And all of the people in Grid who watch him, because he does have a big platform in the Grid League, saw that clip. And most people don't realize where the clip ends and where the next clip starts. And you did that purposely, Tom. You did that purposely. Because you do not like John. You're looking to attack John. And you're unwilling to see that you did it that way.
And I never call him that. So we get in fights all the time. Me and my dad.
Tom didn't think about the consequences that he was bringing forth. If people haven't found this out yet, they will, and they're going to find out now. Olipop, the main sponsor of Grid League, did not. They had some qualms about it, which is something that Mather, and I will say Mather's been super. We've talked multiple times. He's been super giving in this process. We've had great conversations philosophically and otherwise, and really tried to solve the problem. Because Mather called me. Olipop is a huge asset to Grid, and their funding for Grid was at jeopardy. And so we took their logo, or we tried to hide their logo on the thing, and we took their commercial part out, right, Spin?
Not yet. But
we're working on it. So they're afraid that they're going to lose sales because they're connected to us. Now, here's the one thing, and for everybody listening, I really need us to band together behind John right now, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to kick John out of the league, make sure he doesn't get to play. Tom's created a situation in which Olipop may or may not want to be affiliated in some degree with Grid, and I want to prove to them that that is a bad decision. So, Spin in the bio below the video has put a link. So follow these instructions very carefully. You guys have been super giving to John in the past. You guys have been super giving to John in the past and in support of us. I try not to ask you all for things, but I would like to sell the shit out of Olipop right now. Tom, you don't get to make these decisions. You don't get to do this to people. You don't get to try to cancel people and then potentially ruin a sport because you're sad and you're upset for somebody else who I handled the situation with. So please go down in the comments and buy Olipop. Spin has a particular code so that we can make sure that we know the numbers of what we're selling.
That is actually my affiliate code. So I will see it. It's not Tom's. It's not Grid Leagues. Like that's one that I have that I've done. So it's actually supporting the spin. And it's showing that no, what John said was not offensive, that it did not hurt their reputation, that people actually do support our show and those who support us. So
I want to be the biggest supporter Zollipop has ever seen.
And I don't think Tom realized his clip has Olipop in there. Like he did not clip it. He purposely left it in there. Shows Olipop. He did more damage than our hour and 53-minute live stream covering the whole thing. He clicked rage bait, whatever on Instagram. It had Olipop in there the entire time. He got people riled up, made it look like John was saying things, and had the logo in there the whole time.
And also, believe it or not, I still have JY Barbell shirts available if people want those.
John, quit distracting from the problem.
Just kidding.
Don't worry, there'll still be plenty left, even if everybody buys some.
Yeah.
So please support. I know I'm asking a lot. I try not to ask for you guys to buy things, but I really want to overwhelm them with how much support we have for one of our own. And to show that this dude's wrong.
Jen, there's no code. You just go click down in the description below. There's a link there to Olipop. It'll take you right there. I have no idea if you get a discount. I don't know. I can just track that people have purchased it. So if you do buy Olipop, I drink it every day. It's good a soda as any. So about as good a ring endorsement as you can get.
Thank you.
So yes, that was, I spent way too much time yesterday afternoon dealing with Mr. Shiroka, and trying to sort all this stuff out. And it's very frustrating when people try to take John down, take the show down, misrepresent what's being said. So stop doing it.
In the meantime, if I'm allowed to play, which I don't know if I am or not, but if I am allowed to, this is exactly what we're going to try to do, Glee. I can't wait to go against some of these people, and it's going to be super, super, super fun. I told Spin and Tyler, I think I might just go all in and then just buff up to 210, quit trying to fight my genetics, and just try to get the freakiest version of myself and stop trying to be a figment of fit that I'm trying to be. But
well, that's what I want to see. Like that's what I believe is John is in the league, regardless if he wins or he loses. We'll all be watching. People will talk about it. They can trash talk John if they go to the final quadrant and beat him on 3 touch and go clean and jerks. Great. And John can do the same thing if he does the same back to them. Make it interesting. Don't just try to stop people from saying something themselves and canceling them. Right? Like that email that was sent trying to cancel, I guess, me. Like CrossFit has any say in what I do.
That
or Noble or Rogue Fitness.
That email is crazy, dude.
Like, congrats. Good luck. Still here. Your video's not. So that's it.
But
you want to move on?
Yeah.
John,
what does Angelo DeChico say? Huh?
Uncancelable.
Or uncancelable. Okay.
100%.
Now I do not welcome the try, but but hopefully I'm still here.
Moving on. Viewer comments. We'll go back to last week for a second. At Chris Deeming, privileged Americans, we've been getting up in the middle of the night for that last 13 years. Put on your big boy pants, chaps. He doesn't like us complaining about having to wake up early to watch the Rogue Invitational.
Europeans have been complaining about watching American stuff for years. So we're allowed to complain a little bit.
We get to complain. I guess the question
I can
is,
complain.
I don't see any Europeans covering the sport whenever we're over here. I can't tune in and watch you guys. You know,
who-
Tune in and watch Pedro.
Pedro's the only
He's
one.
not
I mean, there's a
doing-
few
he's
others,
not-
but
there's
I know,
nobody.
I know.
He's in person.
He's about the only one that is that has a significant YouTube presence from Europe that I'm aware of.
Richie.
Is there anybody doing the same thing we're doing from Europe?
No.
No.
Honestly,
Not live shows.
Not live shows. Is CF Media, Jason CF Media, is he?
He does he still does
His
no,
own-
he still does videos, but they're not in the same format that we do.
Kathy Stan, our favorite in Australia, or one of our favorites. John, I'm a random, and I always get up at 1 a.m. or whatever time it is to watch the events live. My friends call me a CrossFit nerd.
Kathy, you're not a random. You've been around for a while, girl. Or I'm sorry, I don't want to offend you. Whatever you go by, Kathy.
At Lenses on the Road. This is interesting, Tyler. You're going to like this one. As someone that uses Z-scores frequently in work when it comes to statistics, I completely agree that it rewards punishes for being X amount away from the middle of the pack. Mean for the Z-score, median for P. Some stats talk. Tyler probably likes that. I think if the people who are competing can see their scores, they will, of course, push harder if it means they will get rewarded more. P-score rewards the first places indirectly in that sense. First is 100, regardless of where the rest of the pack is done, but it makes the gap change if second was miles away. You obviously push more if you knew you could make up ground. And I think it's boring to watch people coast into first if they knew they didn't have to try. Like with Guy on the snatch workout this weekend, he would have 100% pushed harder if he knew he had to or had somebody chasing. I think this sort of thing sort of has the same effect. I'm on the side of P-score.
Thanks.
David hated that. Hated that with every ounce of his being, but it
Did
is.
he really comment? I hate that.
No, but
Oh,
he was thinking it. He was thinking it for sure.
I was trying to talk P-score up today on Coffee Pods and Wands and around. The
Yeah,
live
and you
show.
shit on me.
I did not.
You said I wasn't good enough to pull off certain things that I'm definitely good enough to pull off.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, you were just talking about how, like during an event, I can say Laura needs to finish, within 10 seconds or whatever. I had done it for the first time at Crash, and by the end of it, I could definitely do it actively on the thing. Now it would get even better if we had the hand timers and all that stuff, but dude, we're getting closer and closer all the time.
Comment here. Everybody's ordering.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's more of a weird, I'm not bad for grid type deal than anything else.
Yeah. Show that people actually are ordering Olipop because of our show, not ordering Olipop because of our show. Sean M, does John think P-score should be implemented in Grid League?
Nah, it doesn't work like that. That's a 1v1 versus type deal. It's basically 12 mini games, and you know what I mean.
But you did take offense to not going on the field.
Yeah, I think everybody should play the mini games. Yeah, absolutely. If you're playing Mario Kart Super Party with your boys, and then one guy's just up by enough that he's going to win, and he's like,
quit.
I don't want to play anymore. Nope, I won already. I'm not playing. You know what I mean?
Sucks.
But
Kind of sucks. At Dudley Walden, thanks Barbell Spin Crew for broadcasting the Grid Championship. Kind of interesting. Carla Rivera, the only reason I watched Grid League was because of this podcast. I love JY. He keeps me entertained. She was.
I think Jenny said the same thing.
And Dense Updates. Catch her on Savon's channel. Barbell Spin, Tyler and JY making UGL relevant. Wouldn't have watched otherwise.
Thank you, Jenny.
We brought eyeballs to it. We're over 3,000, 3,500 people have watched. I'm sure some of that is hate watching.
Me too.
Trying to catch John and
Me
his
too.
just misogyny. But we got eyes to it. Maybe people even watch it. So there we go. The investigation. You guys saw the announcement. It was shortly after John's prediction of October 7th. Released right around 12:30. What, Central Time, I guess.
It was
And-
1:30 my time, Eastern.
Yeah. And basically, the investigation is done. Basically, the investigation is done. The board of directors has that investigation. After reviewing the investigation that will never be made public because of privacy and legal considerations.
It says that in there?
Yes. It was
Oh,
not published
boy.
due to privacy and legal considerations. We knew that was the case. We knew it, right?
Even though they said originally that they would share the findings?
They said they were going to be transparent around the process and progress throughout all of this.
Hey man,
There are many shades of...
let's calm down with the name calling here. Okay. I'm the biggest guy on this podcast.
Her little girl.
All right. Let's calm it down.
I found the email by Google. So yeah, they said they're going to have transparency. They didn't say they were going to publish it word for word. I think many of us thought that was going to be the case. 6 action and next steps were outlined by CrossFit. The first thing, hidden in the first action item, Dave Castro will not be removed from the sport team. Tyler, what did you think when you read that?
Good.
Good.
I'm going to go straight Jocko on that and just say good.
My first thought was, is it a team? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Is it a team?
Because like Castro wrote the games for the individuals. It was Castro's doing, right? Like his program. He programmed the games.
Right.
Is it a team? Or is it just Castro that's programming the games? That's what I want to know. I know the big removal and like that's what they demanded and all that stuff is, you know, what people want to harp on. I'm curious if he's like it's just the same or there's actually a team now.
I think it goes to what is Dave Castro actually doing?
What is it that you do here?
First of all, if you guys
are you?
If you guys do want to call in, the number's down below. So feel free to call in.
My thing with Dave is I have no problem with Dave being let go or, you know, him leaving his position or them replacing him. But why matters. And I don't think that he needs to be fired for this of all things.
Well, you talk about like, is there a team that's going to program? Does anybody have, I guess that's the thing. Like when I say, what does he do here? I think everybody says, well, he's the programmer.
But is he?
He leads the entire sport team. Yes, he makes the programming, but he also leads the entire team that works underneath him. That runs the entire event.
Did you see that clip of it was during one of Kamala's speeches, Trump was watching her talk, and he was just surrounded by social media handlers, right? And
was that the Tucker Carlson
documentary? Yeah. And they were basically he would just show him like what they were going to say. He's like, yeah, good. And then he would like talk to it. This one girl was sitting next to him, like say this, and then somebody else come over and like, is this good? Yeah, that's good. And while I think that Dave has slightly more input than that, you think it's a similar situation where people are like, hey, I did this, that good? He's like, yeah, good. Like he's directing people.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there's way more that Dave is responsible for than just programming. And the way that I read this statement by CrossFit is that there were things in place. They followed legal requirements for the city. Things were in place for safety, and you can argue that maybe they should have been stronger, but they weren't required to, probably is what it says. And that Dave did not do something so egregious like ignoring safety protocols or doing something that caused there not to be a proper response. I think it was probably human error, is what that report says. John, do you disagree with that, or do you what are your thoughts on, if you could summarize this investigation report without seeing it, what do you think it would say?
The actual investigation report, or what they released?
What
they
was
actually have.
that you have not seen? Like if you were gonna speculate what it said.
Dude, literally just, it was an accident.
Just one line.
We've looked at stuff.
This is a bad deal.
Like, we interviewed a lot of people. It was a really bad thing that happened. Probably the guys in the surfboards weren't lifeguards or volunteers, the little details like that. We don't know those for certain, but like they weren't going to be able to save him. They didn't know, they wouldn't have any training to do so. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like maybe those type of details are in there. Other than that, what else could there be? You know what I mean?
I would imagine, like, John, you're right. Like, it might work like an audit report, not to bore people to death, but generally, like, there's an aggregate amount of risk involved in running a company. Like, you have holes here, 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 and here. And as long as you're like above that threshold, they're like, you're good, and they probably aggregated the risk across all these little different places
And rode the line.
And it'll say something like you have risk exposure here, but it probably won't display fault. It won't say like, you're at fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was labeled as an accident, so I don't think they can label it that if in the report it's like it wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Papa Young 499, thank you. Happy for Dave. Dave, whatever you think the weights should be when you're programming, just add 50%.
That's a lot. He's getting skinny. I don't know if he wants that much, those weights anymore.
Oh, I saw
him doing some pull-ups. So then they outlined 6 steps. First one, supplementing the CrossFit sport leadership team. They're going to create a brand new role. This person's responsible for centralizing safety protocols, creating safety and emergency action plans for the games, overseeing pre-event rehearsals, which we'll talk about later, and coordinating with on-site safety experts, staff, and athletes.
Say safety one more time.
Safety.
This personal report directly to Dave Castro, who will continue to lead the CrossFit's sport organization, and to CrossFit's CEO, Don Fall. They will be expected to provide regular briefings on CrossFit's safety plan and posture. This role will be hired externally, and they hope to have the role filled before the next CrossFit Games season.
Do you not think that this position essentially existed across every position before?
Somebody was responsible for emergency action plans, safety protocols, how to manage it. Like the guy that's on the PFAA, the medical dude.
Yeah.
He was involved with the CrossFit Games for some portion of time. I don't know if he was a leader, just a volunteer on the team. They've had those in place in the past. And I have to imagine there was something in place for Fort Worth.
Well, there was, because there was lifeguards. If you don't have somebody in charge of safety, you're not hiring lifeguards. You're not doing the buoys. Like, you're not doing all that stuff.
You don't have a plan. Yeah.
Yeah. So evidently somebody was in charge of it. Yeah.
So they're going to hire somebody from outside. I think it's maybe more elevating that role or making it more beyond just the safety side of things, the medical team. And so somebody that can actually like maybe coordinate more and have more oversight beyond just maybe the medical team. Okay.
Here's the thing. Like they're saying that they would report directly to Dave and Don. And it's like, oh, okay. Like during the games, like Don is going to have time to be like, yeah, that's a good move. It's like he's probably not involved. I would hope the CEO of the company is very minimally involved with the actual ins and outs of what's going on during the days of play.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like this guy's going to run over, hey, Don, what do you think? And then he's going to run back over to Castro and say, hey, Castro, what do you think? It's like, no, that's not going to happen. Essentially, this dude's going to be kicked back down to Dave, and Dave's going to be like, yeah, this is what he found. Don's going to be like, sounds good. I don't know.
Right. The second one.
I think Don's looking to be told what to do, and he's the guy who's supposed to tell people what to do.
Told what to do on what? Anything or?
Everything, man. Just outsourcing every answer. What do you think? You think he's thinking for himself on any of this stuff? Without just being like consulting a board or consulting, oh, look at the number 2 thing. We got a safety advisory board. Without like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else saying this is the route you should go.
Pull that back up there, Tyler. Pull that back up.
You got the fam on the board here.
Yeah. Ordered some Olipop. So if you missed it, I think Barry forgot it. Olipop did not like Tom Soroka's post that misrepresented what John said. We want to show Olipop using my affiliate code down below that actually their brand was not diminished by us covering Grid League. And so Janelle gracefully said, if you do order Olipop, type in new 20, it saves you 20%. And when you order it, you can actually say you heard it from a podcast, and then you can type in the barbell spin. Let everybody know that you guys are supporting Olipop because of our coverage of the Grid Championship.
You're supporting me by supporting Olipop.
You're supporting all of us. It's a
Right.
community.
Well, the barbell spin. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
Heard the word community a lot in the past 2 days.
The community.
The community was upset. The community defended us. The community needs our support.
No, you're right. It's
community.
You're supporting we/us. Right? Is that what we want to go by?
That is correct.
Okay.
So
One of us.
So yeah.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Can I interrupt really quick?
You can also buy a crochet animal.
No. There's a thing. Can I go get it, or you want to do this first?
Go ahead,
Okay.
John.
I'll be back.
Hurry up.
We'll continue.
No,
Yes,
it's
we'll
important. Like it's important.
Super important. Creating a CrossFit Games safety advisory board. CrossFit will establish this games safety advisory board that will be composed of medical professionals, independent safety experts, and athletes. They will meet regularly before and during events to assess risks, review safety protocols, provide feedback, and serve as an additional independent escalation path for any athlete who has concerns related to safety. They will be in person, present and accounted for at all future CrossFit Games in a support and advisory capacity. CrossFit will recruit advisory board members with diverse expertise, including emergency responders, former games athletes, to ensure comprehensive perspectives and oversight. They've already started building a slate of candidates and plan to communicate more details by the end of this year.
So this is where it gets fun. Because essentially they're like, all right, we're going to do our own internal PFAA.
No, it's not. This isn't it. This is an advisory board. This is
it's totally different.
Former games athletes, emergency responders. It's basically that person they hire in point number 1 is going to manage this team in the way that I read it, or consult with them or however the relationship is going to be.
So they'll go to the PFAA and talk to the PFAA?
No. These people, the people that have concerns will come talk to this advisory board. The advisory board will be looking at all of the stuff and say, hold on, you didn't cut the rope. They're going to twist an ankle.
Yeah,
You guys need to cut the rope before you put anybody out there. John is looking for something I already mailed. That hurts.
I like that we have live reports of John running around the house.
Dude, she made some Grinches, and they were like the greatest thing I've ever seen. Her best crochet thing she's ever done.
You didn't save one?
I was ready, dude. I would have exploded. Like, these Grinches are crazy looking, man.
Are they on the website?
Maybe you can look. Maybe she can, chat in here and tell me. But yeah, I went and looked everywhere and I couldn't find it. So
stay posted for the Grinch.
Just
the
trying
Grinch
to help.
plushie.
Just trying to help business.
They sold out. She can't keep them in stock.
I told her when she made it, you better get where you can make it real quick, because that's literally the best thing you've ever made. And then she made like a freaking dog and wanted me to act like it was better than the Grinch. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's Here, put your link in there, babe. Sorry. Put your link in there, babe.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
So the Safety Advisory Board members. Yeah. One more time.
Board. They will. Here it is. Meet before and during events to assess risks, review safety protocols, provide feedback, and be an additional independent escalation path for any athletes who's concerned about safety.
So they're HR.
They are an advisory HR. It's not human resources. It's the advisory.
It's AR, athlete relations.
I think this actually satisfies point number 2 of the PFAA demands. They wanted a safety council. This is
good job, PFAA. You made it.
My thing is,
you did it.
And what I said on Savan this afternoon.
Demand number 2. Check.
It only took like 10 years.
Can any advisory board, if they see the programming a day at a time, a week ahead of time, hours ahead of time,
years,
foresee potential risks of safety?
You would get better at it.
Hold on. Hooligan. Yes, we will cover it. We have to frame it down and make sure everybody understands what was addressed. And then
context? Are you saying context matters?
We will then look at Luca's post, because if we just talk about Luca's post, you'll say,
what?
Wow, he sure is fiery. But we want you to understand so you can frame what was said and then what Luca said and see how that mesh. So
this advisory board, is it I'm sorry if you already covered it. Is it the names that were mentioned in the one post, the PFAA board?
PFAA is not part of this. This is CrossFit creating their own advisory safety board of medical professionals and former CrossFit athletes.
I think that if you can't see the safety things, like if you can't see an event and say this needs to happen within the first 5 minutes, then you're not going to see it. Doesn't matter how long in advance.
100% agree. And I challenge anybody to tell me that they were concerned about torn Achilles at Rogue. I challenge anybody to tell me that they were truly concerned about the run swim event.
They weren't.
After Henshaw said it was the safest
was
thing
on
in the
our
world,
show.
Like he literally said, safest thing in the world.
You're going to be fine.
Logistically, how's this supposed to work? So like Dave's programming or Boz's whoever programs, we don't know what Dave does, but whoever's programming, is the advisory board aware of that programming during testing to where they could say hey, that's not safe, I wouldn't program it? Or is it, we have this full slate of workouts, please review? And then we already have leaks in CrossFit. That's going to get out to the athletes. So I'm seeing a sieve situation happen here. It's like we're just gonna know the workouts all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be where like they have all the events. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what we have to work with. This is how it's going to look. And then they come in a week before the games and then make adjustments if needed. And then you go with the games.
So surprise programming's gone.
No, I mean, no, to keep surprise programming, it would still be that. It would just have to be a week beforehand. And if it's not, then yeah, it's gone. Like if it had to months beforehand, because something would get out.
Keeping it real. Nate Edwardson made a video and was concerned that apparently he bullied him into deleting it. Way to go, Grant.
Got him.
It's all Grant's fault.
He's not in CrossFit anymore anyway. He's in golf or chess.
He's in chess now.
Dude, he jumps things like nobody's business.
Yeah. Well, all he was covering with golf was the YouTuber golf drama and just like rehashing YouTuber golf drama. So it's not a surprise. Now he's going to the chess and doing the exact same thing.
He should jump on grid.
Man, he'd probably get a killing.
There's a vacancy, I hear.
100%. Number 3, suspending open water swimming events. The suspension of open water swimming has continued. It will remain in place. Cannot do it. If the games does include swimming down the road, it will be in a highly controlled environment, such as a pool. Now, Hiller,
no waves.
Hiller on Savant's show said he hated open water swim. What do you think? Do you hate the open water swim?
No, I like open water swim. It's a huge piece of like fitness. It's cool to see. I mean, I guess it's cool to know that they're doing it. Like you can't really see them swim when they're actually out there, so it sucks from a viewer's perspective.
Not much of a spectator type
thing. But the pool event that we did run 2 years ago, like that one wasn't really crazy to watch. Like it could have been filmed better. I don't know that it doesn't take anything away. It just sucks that it's off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little indifferent. I mean, open water is so much different than swimming in a pool. I think it's valuable to be good at it, but it only helps better swimmers. Like the better swimmer you are, it just creates more of a gap. But I mean, if they're gonna do a pool event and they make it long enough where swimming is the crux of it, then I think it's still testing the same thing, you know.
Do you think this is a statement just to get people to calm down? And that in 2 years it'll be like, hey, we're back in the water.
I think they had to address it somehow. No,
unshun.
That's good. That's good. Back shot. I bet they keep it in a pool. I would not be surprised if there's no swimming for a couple of years, and then there's pool swimming, and that's just what it is.
You don't think they'll ever go back?
I don't think so. And then I think it'll just be like, yeah, there was a guy died 1 year, and that's why, and then we can't do it anymore. Like that's,
why does it stop? Why do triathlons not change?
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with strongman. They used to run with fridges on their back, and then one guy broke his back trying to carry the fridge, and then they don't carry fridges on their back anymore. Like I get it, but triathlon's been around a little longer than.
I get what Spin's hinting at too here, because it's a small step further and further away from a wide and open swath of tests that we can do at the games,
where you can test any and everything.
It was free range, and now it's like, well, we can't do that.
Yeah, you can do thrusters.
Well, we can't do that.
They can do thrusters and pull-ups.
Maybe.
I mean, I just think if they're swimming in a pool, it's still swimming. I'm not like, oh, this is terrible. You know what I mean? But I get what
the swimming itself. The swimming itself is not really the issue. It's the idea that something's pulled off.
And only a pool, and it's like open water is never happening.
It's the first thing that's getting pulled off.
It's the first.
It's not saying it's going to be limited to. So I mean, I would say riding on a road bike for somebody who's not like accustomed to it, does not have a lot of hours on it, like crit, like that was crazy having all those guys on there going around and doing the U-turns and stuff.
Crits are dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, for sure.
Like it starts opening you up to, you slowly start removing things, right? And like you now have this safety advisory board, and they start saying, well, you can't really do that. Somebody could get hurt.
Natalie. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie. I really do appreciate it.
Well, to push back, Spin, to play devil's advocate. Well, you guys are being a bit overly hasty here. It's like there aren't that many movements that we would take out. I think that would be the criticism you receive.
Well, that maybe right now, right? Like it's right now. What happens next year? What happens when this advisory council starts looking at it? Right. Like,
right.
You're saying
two people tore their Achilles doing high box get over things. Do we never see that again?
You're saying
it always has to be a burpee.
It's a slippery slope, and we shouldn't budge.
Yes.
We shouldn't budge for anything.
Right.
That's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah.
I'm saying you have to be smart about it. I don't think you overreact, and that's where I think that this is really just appease everybody right now, give them comfort. They're not going to throw them back in the water in 2025. And then in 3-4 years, it's like, okay, we can do this. We're going to go back. Because if you start saying we'll never do that, and then somebody gets in a bike accident, we'll never do that. Like, again, you're limiting what you're testing for.
I gotcha.
Wanna Love has a good question. Does this apply to tier Wadapalooza?
Unshun.
No.
They can do whatever they want.
They're not affiliated with CrossFit.
But it is a good point
now.
in that it sets a precedent.
Yes.
We follow
semifinal.
What's that?
We're not there yet, John.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did you see the thing below the investigation 2025 season?
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic.
I know. You made us lose our train of thought. I don't like it. Dang it, John. All right, number 4. Enhancing pre-event rehearsals, communications protocols, and emergency responses. We're going to wait till the 2025 CrossFit Games. We're going to skip the 2025 CrossFit semifinals. You get 0 additional on-site rehearsals for all event staff, safety personnel, and volunteers to test safety protocols and communications equipment. I know the next topic is 2025 season. They're beginning at the 2025 CrossFit Games for all.
Oh, so you're saying all of this applies
there are no in-person
to the games
semifinals that are run by CrossFit.
They would have included it.
Got it. But
not beginning at the 2025 CrossFit Games
the French
season.
Throwdown is not with CrossFit.
Yes.
Do you think they would pull the move of we're going to loop you in, like if you want to play, you got to play by our rules, or no?
No,
maybe.
I don't. Well, in French Throwdown, let me ask you, Brian, because I know you know, that's an in-person competition, right?
It is.
Halpin.
They're moving in South.
Got him. So. But they would likely, if they were going to do that move, they wouldn't put it here, because then they would be implicating on things that they probably haven't sorted out with French Throwdown or whatever. But if they 100% were running semifinals, it would be right here.
It would say 25 season, CrossFit Games season. They did not.
So they've told you.
They're giving hints. Going forward, CrossFit will add a more robust safety-specific section during the pre-event briefings with athletes that will ignore all 20 minutes of the briefing. These briefings will bore the athletes tell them that there are risks for each event, the safety protocols and personnel in place to mitigate them, and access assistance if they need it. Additionally, safety measures and protocols will be distributed in written form in every language for all the athletes, with clear avenues to ask questions, voice concerns, and escalate issues related to safety.
How long before the athletes are like, I can't sit through the briefings anymore. Like we gotta cut this.
You get more of them and longer.
Yeah,
You're gonna like it. You're gonna.
they already.
There's a quiz at the end of this.
Yes.
And you must answer to get on the floor.
You have to get over a 70% before you can go to.
You
the
need to
next
tell
event.
us where the exit aisles are.
And everybody's
If somebody
gonna be like,
gets
"Hey,
hurt,
why
where
aren't
they're
we
going to come in, what you do, what the
Yeah.
hand signal is to show that you were hurt.
And everybody's
All of
like,
that will be
what's
tested.
holding us up? Why aren't we
Dude.
starting the event? Freaking Hopper can't pass the quiz, man. We're just waiting on him to pass the quiz.
He's
This
on
is
his third
time
attempt.
taking it. And then Hopper was like, brother, this is stupid.
This is too hard, man. They didn't teach me this. Also, CrossFit will ensure that paramedic teams and ambulances are on site at all events, even if they are not legally required based on local ordinances and regulations. Not legally required based on local ordinances and regulations. So what you're saying is the third-party investigation revealed that Fort Worth, whatever jurisdiction, did not require to host an event like this to have all of that stuff on
Oh,
site.
you think that they put that in there for people who have made that statement?
They are saying going forward, they will always have it regardless if this situation forces
Well, I'm
them
saying
to by law. So even if the law
that-
doesn't say it, which means they were following the law that was not required by Fort Worth to have on-site ambulances and paramedic teams, but they will now going forward. So
Good.
amping it up. Number 5, man, expanding mental health and emotional support resources.
Number 6.
That was great. Tyler.
Sorry.
That was amazing.
CrossFit will integrate mental health professionals into the on-site medical teams. Mental health professionals will be readily available to assist athletes and its staff experiencing emotional distress, or that they feel impacted by competition pressure, personal issues, or unforeseen emergencies. What?
Oh, okay.
I don't.
It's
What I-
it doesn't hurt anybody that it exists, I guess. This being there is like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I guess people wanted this. I don't know.
This is a response to the community. Like this whole thing is just a response to the community, right? And so many people reached out about mental health and emotional support that CrossFit feels like they need to provide it.
Which they are providing. They put out that statement that they're providing free resources for those who have been impacted from Fort Worth. And
I don't
now it's
understand
continuing on.
how that's CrossFit's responsibility.
That was my point on Savon's show. Why isn't there some personal accountability for
your mental health?
For your mental health, or finding the resources to do it, to support you? Why does CrossFit need to do it? Is that the right person for you? Right? Like,
Yeah, John might be your emotional support animal. You want that?
yeah.
He was assigned to you by the mental health brought to you by
I'm gonna tell you
CrossFit.
this- I'm going to tell you this right now. There is no one, nobody, none of my ladies, okay? None of my many women that I train would be offended or mentally hurt by anything that has been said on the internet. I promise you.
Oh, so he's good. Actually, John's on the team. John's on the emotional support team.
The men I actually cannot say the same about. The men the men are far more emotional than the women.
Is Jason emotional?
Oh yeah. Jason's one of the worst ones. Dude, hey, I want to shout out Jason real quick. I know we're on this. I'm sorry. I know we're on this. Jason bench pressed 225 in a workout for the first time.
Nice.
And it was a big deal. 225 is a big number, right? For guys out there.
Yeah.
He's not the biggest of guys. And dude, I thought he was going to cry. He looked at me and he hugged me and he said, "Thank you." And
wow.
And it was an emotional moment. Okay.
You were there for him.
I was there I mentally supported that.
You supported
that
him.
workout. But no, I mean, I think I'm not for everybody. That's obvious. But the people that I am for, I mean, we're rocking. We're building monsters.
If you want to see Jason, come to our show next week on the Betting with the Boys.
Oh, that's the Jason.
Monday.
Yeah,
Friday.
that
Friday.
Jason.
Yeah.
Friday.
Are we switching to Friday? Okay.
We're trying for Friday. Friday at 6:30-ish.
For all your sports gambling needs.
If you are trying to gamble
Betting
on
with the
sports,
boys.
Betting with the boys on Friday.
Or
not this Friday, next Friday.
the question is, are you going to be the anti-Kramer for Tyler? Is everybody going to start betting against Tyler?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, you could just whatever Tyler's picks are. If you bet the exact opposite, you're probably doing all right.
Can't wait till IU wins and I can throw this in
Listen,
your
if
face.
Indiana wins, I will make a post on Instagram and be like, "Listen, Tyler Watkins is a freaking genius when it comes to college football." I bow down to his college football knowledge. I probably won't make the same bets he's making, but I will.
Still won't jump on the train.
Dude, he's on it. He's everybody.
Kate Champion is a female. She identifies as a female.
Your last
And I am a
name's
huge
Champion.
J1 fan.
That's not a yeah. That's why.
Vindicate. John Young, he's for anyone, but not for everyone.
Ooh.
100%. Yeah.
It's a thinker.
Back to mental health. I think it's to your point, Tyler. I think it's to appease the masses. I don't think those who need it are going to utilize it. They will have their own people to deal with it. Uh-oh.
Oh, we got a caller.
We got a caller. Hang on here a second, caller.
Ding dong.
Ding
I love that.
dong.
I love that ringtone.
Caller, welcome to the spin.
Hey, what's up, Brian? This is Ernie. You guys have met me at
Ernie.
games and
Ernie.
What up,
What
Ernie?
up, Ernie?
I was hoping you were not Tom.
I was worried you were Tom.
Oh, dude, excuse my language, but fuck that guy.
What's going on, Ernie?
So right now that we're hyping up John, I sent you an email, Brian. I don't drink much sodas and stuff like that, and I've had an Olipop before, and they're good, but me. So what I did, I got two $25 gift cards, and I was gonna say John should give them away on the chat.
Oh,
and I sent them to you,
snap.
Brian.
Hey,
There you go.
Ernie, you're a good dude.
Thank you,
Ernie
Ernie.
is the best.
That's awesome, Ernie. Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
All right. We will.
You're welcome. I mean, I know people have their opinions and all that shit, but dude, it is so fucking frustrating when you start catching them when they're doing the clips or when they start virtue singling. And I don't know, man. I'm getting sick and tired of it. So any way that we can support Spin, Tyler, and John, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Awesome, man.
Thanks,
Ernie,
dude.
you were the best.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it, man. That means
At
a
the end of
lot.
the show, we will pick two of your lucky viewers. Somebody that gets John's attention in the chat. He will
I'm gonna
pick
look
out
for
two,
comments
so.
now.
Yep, that's exactly what I was hoping for. But all right, guys, I'll let you all go because I still need to finish making dinner and I coach in the morning. So y'all take care.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
You're the
And-
best, Ernie.
Thank you, Ernie.
Awesome. Ernie helped us get Lou Jajun as one of our sponsors.
Mhm.
So
Favorite weightlifting shoes of all time.
the best, my wife
great.
calls them moon shoes.
Ernie's the man.
I wear them because I have terrible ankle mobility. I wear them all the time. You should get them.
Asians.
Yeah, Judy, that might be a bad site to get on. I don't know if I would do that.
Lou Jajun. Oh man, look at that. Ernie just opened up the floodgates. Here we go. Tom, is that you?
Hello?
Hello?
Caller, hi. No color.
Brian. This is former U.S. President Bill Clinton.
Oh man,
What's up,
Ken's
Bill?
on the phone, guys.
Me and Bill go way back, man. He's from
Oh
Arkansas.
man, what's going on, Bill? What are your thoughts on all
Oh,
this?
Bill, I just wanted to call in and just tell you how much of a great and big fan of the show I am. I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of D. Tyler Watkins and John Young. Oh man, I am your biggest fan. Your love and care for the female community, I could not relate more to it.
I have to say, Bill, you do have a way with the women, don't you?
Oh, I sure do, Brian. I love the female community. I support the female community. And I just want to let all of your 4 or 5 listeners of the show right now, I want them to know that I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And I'm so proud of you, John, for standing up for the female community, just as I have. And as part of this campaign to try to get you into next year's Grid League, I'm going to go ahead and give you my full support and endorsement. I'm going to buy all the Olipop that I have, that I'm going to consume, and I'm going to promote all the Olipop possible to my fans. And I'm going to go ahead and send you my biggest endorsement, John, because I don't think it's fair what Tom did to you, because I know what it's like to have false allegations pressed against you. And I just want you to know, John, that I have your fullest support and endorsement, and I'm going to buy all the Olipop at my local grocery store. I'm going to go ahead and use that barbell spin code, and I'm going to buy all the delicious flavors of every Olipop out there, John, for you.
Will you have to consult with Hillary on those purchases? And what is your favorite flavor there, Bill? Mr. Clinton. Sorry, President Clinton.
Listen here, Tyler. Hillary and I love Olipop. It's a great alternative to that disgusting sugary soda. All that's going to do is just get you fat and get you lazy. But Olipop is just full of prebiotics that's going to do all kinds of great things for your gut. And according to my good old side piece, Monica Lewinsky, it sure makes that semen a little sweeter. So please go ahead, buy your Olipop. My favorite flavor is actually the orange squeeze, because it gives me that nice little childhood memory of vanilla cream, orange cream soda. It's very delicious.
Thank you,
Man,
Mr.
really-
President Clinton.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you,
your
Bill.
support.
I don't know if that
Mr.
helps me or
President.
hurts
Oh,
me.
you're
I'm
very
gonna be
welcome,
honest,
guys.
but
I
thank
just
you.
wanted to call in and just give you my 2 cents and my endorsement. So all your 4 or 5 listeners out there, go ahead, please click that barbell spin link, buy all that Olipop. Let's support John. Let's get John out there in that Grid League, and let's go ahead and stick our middle fingers right up that Tom Soroka's ass.
Hey,
Great calling you guys. Great talking to y'all.
Man.
I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Enjoy the
Awesome.
show.
thank you,
Mr.
President Clinton.
Thank you, Bill. Do we know who that is?
Yes, Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton,
All right.
everybody. You guys do not realize how many famous people watch our show every week. Lee Frazier,
Huge.
thank you. 499 super sticker.
Huge.
Man,
I truly was not expecting that.
that is good stuff. Nobody
That's a
can
good one.
expect the president to call in. That was good. I appreciate
I
it.
didn't know Bill was a CrossFit fan.
Oh, when he went vegan, 100%. He's all about that health. He's all about that health.
Yeah, him and Robert work out together.
Oh,
Absolutely. All right. Moving on to number 6. This is where John or Tyler.
We're still doing the investigation.
We're still doing the
you're
investigation.
still investigating.
Heck yeah. We are going to establish a CrossFit Athlete Council, aka the CAC. CAC
TM.
will ensure that athletes from the CrossFit community can share feedback and have greater influence on CrossFit's protocols for safety, competition, broader athlete welfare, and they're going to help them make more money through the business of sport. Unlike the previous CAC, this CAC will be elected by fellow athletes and represent athletes from all divisions, from the teenies to the old guys, the old women, to the adaptive athletes, Everybody will be represented, not just the elite individual athletes. The CAC will be filled by early 2025.
Okay.
Vicky, thank you for the super sticker.
So the athlete council will be athletes who are competing. And the safety board is just some random people that they're electing.
That they are choosing.
It's broader, though.
And the PFAA is a mix of the two.
So do you remember in 2020 when the PFAA was like, hey, we're something? And then CrossFit's like, hey, we have an athlete council too.
You have a what?
See, our athlete council, it's right here. We don't need you, PFAA. And then the athlete council just kind of like, they stopped doing anything. They're going to reinstate it, but this time bring it up to a vote. So they really liked how the PFAA did their elections. And so they're going to do the same for their own CAC.
I think a lot of this is dumb, man. I mean, I think just tell us what you're going to do. Tell us what safety protocols you're putting in place. Tell us, like, hey, we're going to look at things a month beforehand and then go over a safety board. It's going to okay everything, and then we're good to go. You have 5 different organizations that you're announcing, like, hey, now we have this and now we have that, and I don't care about any of it. Just tell me what you're going to do.
It's a power move, John.
Don't tell me all this stuff that you're establishing. I just want to know what you're going to do. It's a lot of nothing.
No, it's something, because right now the PFA is the only safety voice in the CrossFit community right now, right?
Only vocal public voice.
Right.
How many public safety voices do we need? We need 5.
At least 2, voices? Maybe 3. Okay.
Maybe
how many
4. I could see 4.
5 would be even better.
6 possibility.
About 7.
The issue here is, John, is that now, so they control all of the narrative on safety.
I wasn't trying to be part of the safety narrative, believe it or not.
No,
Tyler.
and I don't disagree with that, John. Just follow me for a second. I agree. Like, all these freaking boards, and let's go back to 2012 where it's like everybody just wanted to work out. 100% on board. The issue here is that CrossFit has to deal with PFAA and the wake that they're causing. So guess what? We're just going to usurp your whole situation, start ours, and then just let that whole thing run on its own and watch those two battle. They don't have to deal with this shit anymore. And then they can say the whole time, well, we have the CAC. Like, we're solid.
So they're CAC blocking safety.
100%.
The old CAC block.
Kate is correct. I nominated John to be on the CAC. I think John will be a great representative of the CAC.
I would like.
Do I qualify as what athlete level?
That was my point. Who qualifies? Right? You're saying all age groups, all different divisions, teams, individuals, teenagers, masters, adaptives. Where do you draw the line of saying you're not an athlete? This is the broader community. You probably have as good of a following as anybody. If you were like, I want to be on this.
I wanted to be on grid. Look how that's going for me.
Who's voting for this? Is this open to a community? Like, hey, here's your Survey Monkey to the entire, anybody that registered for the open can vote. We could do a CAC for John Young.
For John Young, that's
campaign.
A shirt.
Please, I do not want to be
CAC for JY.
CAC for JY. The issue with
Sevon would be better.
The CAC and the PFAA and the safety stuff in general. Angelo said it himself. He's not running for this. He doesn't want to be involved. He's not concerned with it. Therefore, the only people who are people who are overly concerned with it and want to do it.
And
right?
already on the PFAA.
And you hear one voice. Now, I do think that.
What if the same people in the PFAA that just got elected to the athlete board are the only ones that run for this one?
But then Brent doesn't run it. I mean, I guess he kind of could, but then it would get boring after a while.
Be a shadow CAC.
Shadow.
I think think the whole thing is dumb. Why can't we just work out and watch people?
We're not there yet.
I want to go back to the days of where we just worked out.
What do you think? Because this is obviously a direct, I don't want to say attack, but this is directly in response to everything that PFAA has done. What does the PFAA do?
I don't know. They like to talk.
I start talking about PFAA and John starts getting tired.
What? I mean, yeah. So we've ruled out shadow CAC. Like that's not a real solution. Like you can't. You can just put members in, but eventually I would just be like, well, Brand, I'm not going to talk to you. Like I can just do it myself, right? And so, I mean, they're gonna push as hard as they can to be heavily involved, if not the dominant voice in the CAC.
Do they get elected? If Danielle and Jake and Yella all run, does the broader community vote for them?
I mean, it could turn into a party situation where the PFAA gets together and it's like, we need to control the CAC. And so it's like, vote for our members. And since they're already, like they have most of the people who care about the safety aspect anyway, they can just seat whoever they want.
Depends on who votes.
Right. So the Shadow CAC is back on.
It's back. Like if Danielle Brandon runs, she's on the athlete board of the PFAA, and said, all right, I'm going to try to do this too. Would people support her because she's on the PFAA?
PFAA approved. I mean, if they voted her in as what's her position in the PFAA now?
Athlete board, the new athlete board.
She's on the athlete board, and then they say, hey, I think that we should see these people in the CAC. Then you would hope that they also vote her into that. That would be the assumption.
Yeah, let's put Taylor in there.
CAC member.
Yeah.
I mean, he would qualify as an athlete. You know what I mean? Like he's every bit as fit as you need to be. Oh, he has to be games athlete?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
It's the broader community. I mean, this is.
Do you know how annoyed Colton would be if he got elected to this?
I'm pretty sure he did not vote for the
just
write him in. Everybody write in Colton.
Yeah, Colton is just he was elected to be a CrossFit athlete council. He'd be like, the freak is this? I'm not coming to none of that. Like whatever
he begrudgingly calls in on these Zoom meetings from his phone in the tractor. He's
oh my goodness, it'd be pure comedy.
And then at the very end, CrossFit will share the details of the 2025 CrossFit Games season later this week. It's coming, guys. Friday. It's coming.
Well, it was supposed to be October 17th, and then it was supposed to be
7th.
It was supposed
7th, John.
I'm sorry. So then it was supposed to be Wednesday, and now it's supposed to be Friday. We'll see.
They'll tell you when they want to tell you.
John, you're the reason we have big gotcha. We're big gotcha journalism. You got to get your dates right, man.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
right.
apologize.
Did Don not call you?
No, me and Don aren't close, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah.
I figured Halpin would have told you.
Me and Halpin aren't close, believe it or not.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Didn't know that.
20.
I don't have anything against Halpin. I want to get that straight. Okay. Like y'all dislike Halpin a lot more than I
dislikes me.
Halpin. I only dislike him a little bit. Y'all dislike him a lot of it.
We're best friends.
Yes, you are. 2025 CrossFit Games season. First of all, before we get off of the investigation, does anybody not compete in the 2025 CrossFit Games season? Ariel Lowen has already said that she was evaluating not competing. Does this statement persuade
She said
her?
that months ago.
That was months ago. That was what, in September?
She got third in Rogue, so she's got more money than she might have thought she might have had.
So do you think she sits it out? Does this persuade her to come back in and feel good about what CrossFit's doing?
I think Dylan's putting her back to work. Hey, no days off. Get out. You got to go compete. I would be interested to know if Ariel is okay with the statements. Like, she's like, yeah, at least they're trying to do something. Whether she feels that they're hollow or whatever, I don't know. But they do seem to be doing some action. This is like more action than they've ever made in the past. As for other athletes, what do you know? What do you think?
Everybody keeps talking about Adler and Horvath are not competing this season. That's been going around.
Confirmed or non-confirmed?
That's what not confirmed. I don't think they've ever stated publicly that's what they're doing. Julian Ifford, Jeff, Laura, and I would like to say a lot of European athletes. Oh, I forgot to do one thing.
Taylor wants you guys to know that she also will not be competing at the games this season.
Oh, damn. Bye-bye.
I forgot. Julian told us we needed to do this first.
Yes, this is Luka Dukic's post.
Luka Jukic, 4 hours ago, so after the announcement, Luka tags CrossFit Games, and the Dave Castro. No investigation can reveal anything other than the fact that there was no reaction when it was needed. Shortly after CrossFit Inc., CrossFit LLC now, announced their third-party investigation, I was informed by a source.
That's an interesting thing you just did.
I don't know what I did.
You said LLC, not Inc.
It is true. It is CrossFit LLC. It was Inc. when it was sold to.
Oh, okay.
When it was sold to our boy, Rosa. It was CrossFit LLC. I was informed by a source helping that they would not be sharing the results. However, I wanted you to hear this directly from them. This was merely a let's buy some time move until the community forgets and it's time to cash in on them again. The next time you consider signing up for the Open, paying your affiliate fee, or letting a few CrossFit Inc. LLC oriented media pawns, we are not associated with CrossFit LLC, as proven by the email that went to deaf ears. Pawns influence you. Think carefully about giving your money, power, and time to a company that does not value human life.
What did he want?
I don't think there's anything you could have done that would appease him. His brother died, and I'm not going to fault him for being like that. I don't think there's anything CrossFit could have done, at all. I think it was always going to be like this for him, and I do not blame him at all. I don't even think I would be any different, but I'm just saying you know what I mean?
So you're just writing him off as like, this is a known issue that he's going to act like this.
I think it was going to be like this no matter what you did, no matter what.
But you think there's no actual verifiable things that he would say, I want this, and this. Well, is it the demands? I want Dave to be gone. I want this thing. I want this thing.
I'm not going to speak for him.
Right.
You could say fire Dave. I think he's after the games, he's anti-CrossFit, period. As the games. You know what I mean? There is nothing you could do to make him happy as far as the CrossFit Games goes. It's just forever gonna hate the CrossFit Games, and I get it. I get that feeling from him. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything they could have done for him to be like, I am happy with how things are turning out. His brother died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think there is ever going to be a happy anything with the CrossFit Games for him.
Well, I'm just trying to. I agree. Dude, you're going to be pissed. Your brother's dead. 100% get that part. The thing that I'm trying to just analyze is okay, like you were always going to make this statement, or are there verifiable things? I don't know. I agree with you, John, is I don't think that there were verifiable things that he wanted. But I would I would just offer that up and say, what did you want to see? Because right now you're just throwing shit, and that's fine. But like, it would be more productive if you said like, hey,
For sure.
this is what they could have done with this opportunity, and they didn't do that. And that's why they're not showing leadership, as into just being like, see? And it's like, well, see what?
They can't hit a moving goalpost. Like if you said, I want X, Y, Z, you know what I mean? And then it's like,
Yeah.
they did that or they didn't do that. And like for like the PFAA's demands, you know, I will say, I feel like they hit 1 and 2 and then they just didn't do 3.
I think PFA would disagree with 1. Transparency on the investigation.
What more do you want, Brian?
They want the 50-page plus document that has all of the details of everybody they spoke to and what they said and all their findings of what triathlons do to make sure that people don't drown.
All right. Well, okay, fine. You're just going to be unhappy.
I'm just saying that the only thing that's satisfied is number 2. But that was outweighed by the CAC.
Yeah.
So the PFA is not happy with all 3 of these. Do you give any credence to this is merely a let's buy some time move until the community forgets?
I think that it might have been that, but really more the community, I think, that was upset by this is just going to be exacerbated. They're just like, oh, I'm done. Like, you're not going to play, so I'm done. Right now, and now we get to see how many athletes that is.
Right.
Like who's going to hold the line and stay true to what they believe in or feel. Over. I'd set it at like maybe 8.
I know. I think it would have been leaked already if it was going to be over.
What do you mean leaked? How many people are not going to compete?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, John. I'm setting a line on how many athletes don't compete.
Out of the 79 who made it to the games this year.
Okay. I thought the over-under was talking about the full investigative report.
Oh, no, we'll never see that unless somehow
it'll get leaked over-under Tyler. Like I thought.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even see that. Will it get leaked?
That's what I thought.
No. The third party doesn't, unless the third party investigation is handed around at CrossFit, that thing's not getting leaked. And I doubt that they're handing it out at CrossFit. No. So, yeah, that place is I would imagine that's a secure place. It's not coming out.
Ooh, this is fun. Do you want to do this at the end?
That's next week.
I would set the line at 8 at how many drop out. So 10%.
8 do not compete next year.
That make it?
No, they don't. They do not register for the Open.
How many people? Yeah, that could have gone to the games just don't. Of the 80 were there last year.
That's tough, man. I'm gonna say 5.
Say the under.
I'm going over based off of two reasons. What was just announced today? I don't think it appeases anybody. I think there's plenty of people who are like, fire Dave or I'm out. And adding more people, more boards, more councils, more everything does not help that situation, does not change anybody's mind. And then when Friday comes out and we talk about the 2025 season, it's not going to be like, this is great, I can't wait to do it.
Right.
I tell you right now, if Jeff and Laura sit out, I'm not going to call them the fittest man or woman in the world. I think you have to do the CrossFit Games. You have to win to claim you're the fittest man or woman in the world. I get it. Jeff is probably the fittest man in the world. Sure. The Games is not Rogue. Like, it is a different competition, and things can happen. I don't think if you don't compete in the CrossFit Games, I don't think you can call yourself the fittest man or woman in the world.
You think they care anymore?
I mean, I think they're going to try to I think their narrative will be, I'm the fittest man or woman in the world. I'm choosing not to do the CrossFit game. They're choosing not to do the CrossFit games to make another competition the CrossFit games, right? Specifically Rogue. But like I'm saying, if Laura and Jeff and Emma and Ariel and like just a couple more people, right? None of them do the CrossFit games, right? Can you say it's the CrossFit games if 5 of the top 10 fittest people in the world weren't there? And then
When
you can say it.
Tia wins,
and then, well, true. I know Tia bails everything out, but say Tia's not there, right? Just hypothetically. And you have for the men, you can't say it for the men, right? And then you go to Rogue, and they're all there, and Laura beats everybody except Tia, and Jeff wins. You see what I'm saying? Like, then you're like, well, is the real fittest man or woman competition Rogue, right? And that's what they're going to try to do by doing that, by boycotting the games. And I'm not going to call it that.
You're not going to call the CrossFit Games fittest on earth?
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to continue to call the CrossFit Games the fittest man or woman.
Because they had the opportunity to?
Yes, they choose not to. And it's a different
I bet
test.
you walk that
It's
back.
a different test. No way. It's a different test because one, I mean, this year was trash programming wise, but the CrossFit Games is usually the most balanced test out of everything. Rogue always has a strength bias. Wodapalooza usually has a gymnastics bias. Dubai usually has an endurance bias. Like the games usually is the most balanced test there is over a broad range of time of different modal domains, right? Time and modal domain, whatever the definition is. It fits that definition perfectly where the others don't. This year didn't. That kind of puts a ring into things, but usually it does. Okay. And you have to take that test if you're going to call yourself the fittest man or woman in the world. Chandler Smith would be one of the best CrossFitters of all time if we just did Rogue.
Yeah.
Is that fit? You see what I'm saying?
That's
it's
true.
not the same. It is
And
not.
that's what Katie said on Savon this week. That she's not trying to do that.
Would not be great at all. Noah Olson would not be great at all. You know what I mean? Like it's just not the same.
Look who decided to join. Audrey. Welcome back to the show. And Clock brought up a good point. Demand 2 of the PFAA required CrossFit to create an independent safety team to liaise with the PFAA on an ongoing basis. Liaise. So they did not get that. So the PFAA got nothing. 0.
Somebody's liaising.
Nobody's liaising. No, nobody. Drunk Pedro last week. I think people thought it was a joke. I'm not sure if it was or not. The Open is in February. No quarterfinals, online semifinals. Top 1% in the Open advance to online semifinals. There's some sort of in-person sanctionals. The 2025 CrossFit Games are in July. They will not be in Texas, and the teams will be split up.
So you think there'll still be a team's games, but just by themselves, the way Masters and Teens work?
Presented by Grid. What's funny is this popped up again earlier this week, and people had not seen this. So I reshared this article with Pedro's thing. And I've had some games athletes reach out and say, I've heard
Is this for real?
I've heard similar things. Now, they said 300 advance to the second stage. They didn't call it semifinals, but they've heard only 300 advance from the Open to the second stage online. So there's a lot of stuff going out there from multiple different angles. There's athletes talking. We're getting information. Drunk Pedro's hearing things at the bar, drinking Jameson.
Sponsored by Jameson.
Right. So there are things out there. But what I wanted to kind of talk more about was the French Throwdown. So the French Throwdown has announced its dates early May. Actually, the Far East Throwdown announced the first week of June. It'll be. And on the competitions page of the French Throwdown website, it at least lists all of the divisions with a brief description of each. It has all these community-driven ones. But there is a qualifier phase set for February 15th to February 15th to the February 24th.
Dang, right in the
For
middle
the
of February.
elite level of the French Throwdown.
How many places?
It's 40. So they made it really confusing. They drew a line down here, but it's actually tied to it. So it's actually 40. And if you go to the competitions page itself, the competition.
I see what you did there.
You spoke French.
Yeah.
40 places, 15th to 24th. They've changed it. My question to you, do we think the 2025 CrossFit Open is going to be a 10-day competition? That's a Saturday through a Monday, I believe it is.
So
3 events, or do you think they'll go with 5? Go ahead, John.
if you're qualifying like the top 300 in the world to the semifinals, and what we think is the top 20 to the game straight up, I think it has to be 5 workouts, and they're not going to be. It's going to be like quarterfinals, right? But maybe easier access, maybe more gated. You know what I mean? Not like there's gonna be one workout that's like 24.1. Everybody can do it, right? And then but they'll release them all the way they did quarterfinals, and it will be a lot like that. You have 10 days to do all of these workouts, and then you submit it online, and there's gonna be harder workouts too, or lifting involved. It's not just gonna be everybody can do it, but there will be a couple events where everybody can do. There's probably gonna be a lifting thing because everybody can do a lifting thing. There's probably going to be an easy one like 24.1 that's fast. And if you're fit, you could just burn the house down. Not everybody can burn the house down. And then there's probably like a 20-minute AMRAP that everybody can do, right? And then there will be 2 workouts that are harder, higher skill level, heavier workouts, right? I think it's 5 workouts. You have 10 days to do it. If it's only 3 workouts, there's no way that you can accurately get like the fittest people to the games from that. I think you have to have 5 workouts. And then that puts a little bit of a recovery phase in there too, right? To be able to do the 5 open workouts in 10 days.
So essentially you shifted the quarterfinals down to the open.
Yeah. And I think you make it a little bit more accessible, but still quarterfinal level type deal.
Accessible will be.
I'm saying the workout.
No, I would call that they make a pro league now, and that that the open category will be a totally separate pool of athletes. We're no longer competing with the fittest on earth. The open is a completely different thing now. They're abandoning.
You think you're going to pick your category, and if
they're going to scale the world. The open category of people. Sure. It's going to be pro, normal people who are essentially now scaled, and they'll say, "Well, you have the opportunity to do the pro division if you want. We're not taking that away from you." It's like, yeah, but the whole point was so that we could do the workouts with the fittest people on earth. That's the whole point of the open. So it's not the open anymore.
You still can, right? You just got to sign up.
You can, but that defeats the entire purpose of what the open was.
Unless you start charging more for that path.
Sure. But I think you're going to get less people doing it that way, where you pick your own path. Because
like Natalie Fleming just said, no quarters is a bummer. I was close and thought I'd finally able to make it. If it's 1% or 300, which is even less than 1%.
There's no goal. Like when 1% is fitter. That's fitter than I am. I would have to get like the luckiest straw in the world to be in the 1%.
What percentile were you this time?
I always hang out around 95. I was 97 one year, and
you got to move way up that curve to get to the top 1%.
Yeah, the year with 90, there was a max out. So and the higher, the closer you get to that 1%.
Steeper the incline.
Yes, the talent, like the numbers on that is so much more.
Leslie, when is the open? I missed it. Hoping I can do some version of it.
You'll be fine, babe.
I've
You'll be
heard,
all right.
I've heard February. That's why I'm wondering if this is the case. Now, Matt said, wasn't the open confirmed for March, an email sent to affiliates? If there has been, I'm not aware of that email.
I'm thinking through the pieces of this.
Set aside how many qualify. 10-day open where they would release 4 or 5 workouts to do. Do you like that concept versus
Just
3 separate weeks where one workout?
Let's say that everybody's doing the same part.
Same format as it was. Like nothing changes except for we're just going to give you 4 or 5 workouts. You have a week to do it. It's now in what I would think you're marketed as open week. Your affiliate has from Saturday to Monday to host events. In what I could see is you do all of your things, and then Friday is your capstone final event party of the open. Go do Friday Night Lights with your affiliate. And if you're trying to compete, you could do Saturday, Sunday repeats. Like, do you like that idea versus?
Dude, I think it's going to be a crap show because people, if you're going to release all the events at once, people are always going to want to do different events at different times. And you'd have to pick, hey, we're going to do this one on Friday. Well, what if, half your gym's not good at that one? They don't want to do that one on Friday. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be rough for affiliates. And I think it's going to drive open participation way down. Because if it's online, it's just, if you want to do it, it doesn't get hyped up. I think affiliates are going to have a hard time hyping it up. It's like, hey, we all get together and do this on every Friday. Right. I think it's going to be rough. I really, really do.
Well, from a logistics standpoint.
If Matt, DM me that if you have a screenshot of it. I'd like to see it.
Me too. The logistics part of it, it's like talk to TTT when they were running quarterfinals. Like it's an absolute madhouse. They had to basically you had to reserve a spot and they had a certain flow. They were there for 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day, and it was a logistical nightmare. Now put that in the affiliate level. The affiliates for the most part didn't have to really do anything with quarterfinals. And if you want to engage the entire community, you need them to do that in the open.
I think you make the class days, the open workouts, and then you just show up, and if you want to participate, you film it. But that's all.
Right, which is lame.
Yeah.
And people
maybe
would
they're
say,
thinking
well, Tyler,
everybody's going to do it in the if they have it as your class workout, you're going to do it. You might as well register,
right,
because you come there and do it in class. Maybe they're thinking that way, and that's not a bad thought because you are doing it, right? Everybody is doing it, so
yeah, but it takes that's what's special about Friday Night Lights is that it's
away. 100%.
Yeah, there's no magic in that.
Yeah, and then you layer in that only 1% make it, and it's
you're not going to have your first bar muscle ups. You're not going to have your PRs on lifts, all the stuff.
Right.
And that's if they do the same programming. And if they do different programming for normal folks, it's going to be even worse than that. Because then why do they care? They're not doing the same workout as Tia. They're not comparing themselves to the fittest on earth.
And you're not going to have judges. Everything's going to be video proof. Good luck to them looking through all the videos. But I guess since they limited it to 300.
Right.
Tristan they Patrick, can kind of comb through it.
That all adds to it. Filming, judges, etc. Judges. I mean, if it's true that only 300 advance, you've got to have a lot more robust video review process. Because there could be some very good athletes who are 302nd.
Yeah, there will be.
Right? Yellow Hosta is not going, sweet, the open is where I'm going to make my bank. He just has to get through to live competition where he can shine.
And he might not.
Right.
He might not make it through the top 300 because it's not
have
the
you
top
run
300
that
in Europe. It's the top 300 in the world.
Right.
I wish Barkley
It's hard to look at the Open though, because like it never mattered, right? So you can't look at it and say, oh, this person would have missed it. Quarterfinals is a little different because you have a blind leaderboard. But Open the past couple of years was so easy to make. It didn't matter, right? Like Brent showed us that even finishing 400th in the world was like, oh, he did pretty well. Great.
And that was in quarters?
No, like in the
Open,
right? Like you can't go back and look and say, look who would have finished outside the top 300 worldwide. It doesn't matter. Like that, you know, it's so different when there's actually a hard red line there where you're in or out versus competing for pride at that point, right? Like
I actually think I'll enjoy the Open programming much, much more, but it takes away from like. What's bad is I bet you I end up having my best Open scores my whole career, but it doesn't. I think it's not great for the sport.
Well, it dives deeper into separating the sport from the community again, which they've continually done. And the thing that I mean, if you watch Chase's and Bill's show last week,
some week,
yeah, I think it was last week, that like. Dude, we've gotten too far away. Like everybody talked about that for years. The community and the sport need to be separate. No, you're wrong. And we're back to 2010 levels of interest in the sport. We need to backpedal and rebuild this again. And this is a step away from that.
Rebuild like the persona.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the community involvement and who the athletes are.
Hey, look, we didn't lose Jess. Jess still, we gained a follower. Do you think they'll do the 2-avenue path where more serious athletes pay more and put them in a different leaderboard? That's what I think. When Tyler, if you're correct that there's 2 paths, right? A games path and an open path. I could see them saying, if you want the games path, we had to review their videos.
$300.
We need extra money. It's $100 to do this, right?
And it is just that one. It's not open and then quarterfinals, so it probably evens out a little bit. Money
quarterfinals is right. It's $50, right?
But I'm saying like
so
you had to pay for
you'd be 70 in,
that.
so now 100, or you could do 70, something like. I could see that definitely happening.
Thank you, Sarah.
She's been here for a long time before this weekend. We didn't lose you. John did not offend you enough. Thank you, Jess. We appreciated your help throughout Sunday, keeping us informed. You were definitely.
Hell, if Jess hadn't been there, we'd have been screwed.
It would have been a really bad.
Listen, I'm just a man.
And so if
talk about a sport,
if
doesn't want me,
if Matt is correct and it truly was 3 weeks in March, but you have the French Throwdown hosting its own competition.
Then it's a nothing burger.
Then is there a separate qualifier? Like I don't know if the French Throwdown is going to be tied into this whole sanctional thing, but the French Throwdown was a sanctional in 2019. They hosted the French Throwdown this year,
and they're great competition. Like people love the French
it's
Throwdown.
Well run. Now we can talk about people popping from the French.
Well, it's not great. It's not great with the drugs and stuff, but the competition great.
It just makes no sense to me why they'd run a competition parallel to the season unless they're trying to unless it's either something to do with Will Morad's World Fitness Project, which you see the little logo that Will's pointing to right there, or
that's pretty good.
It's tied to the CrossFit game season.
Right.
So could it be an alternate league? Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out on Friday.
How
the details are released.
Dude, I'm so glad that they're doing this on Friday because it sort of worked in the favor of like them releasing that statement about Lazar is like, oh, this has implications on the season. Why don't we know anything? If they had waited longer than Friday, people would have lost it.
You had to do it before they announced the season.
Yeah.
for sure.
But like they couldn't have announced it and then waited 2 weeks and then announced the season. Plus, number one, we're running out of time, and number two, like it just would have looked terrible.
Right. So, yeah, we'll find out more on Friday. I think I'll be curious to know what the PFAA does, what they react. I have to imagine they've met today. They'll put out some statement, I would imagine.
Emergency meeting.
I'm waiting for the first athlete to say, I'm out. And say
Who's money on?
Not enough.
Off the
Les
the
or
first
Luca.
no, he doesn't count.
I would say Laura. If anybody's going to say, if Laura is not competing, she will be the first to say she's not. Not to say that she's not. I'm saying if she will not compete, she will be the first to announce it.
My money's on Laura too.
If Brent would have, I don't know if Brent would have pulled out.
Pat, Jeff,
Yeah.
Ariel.
And you know who the right answer is? It might be like Karen Freyova. I'm just not thinking about her, but I could see her.
I don't think Mia Hesketh will compete next year.
And she wouldn't make it anyway.
She's also pregnant, but that's another story. She just announced just tonight, I believe, that she is.
Congratulations,
second child. Glee, my money is on Gabby. She's out. Yeah, very, very true. Guys, first, thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting John.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Everywhere that was slinging mud on the internet this week, you guys stepped up, spoke highly of us, which
And it does.
Appreciate.
It means a lot. It means a lot. I had an outpour of support in my DMs. So it does not go unnoticed. I really do appreciate it.
Because the mob can come sound pretty loud and nasty. The mob can sound pretty loud and nasty.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
If you don't counter that, it makes it sound like everybody is against you, and you can definitely tell it's not the case.
Oh, and also,
there we go.
The car seat came in the mail today.
Nice.
That
Nice.
the barbell spin ordered. So thank you guys.
No,
for
thanks
that.
to all you guys that donated. So definitely for that. Go buy some Olipop, support them. Go in the description, buy some. John, before we leave, you have to pick 2 people.
Oh snap! I forgot about
Ernie's
Few
giveaways.
comments. Ernie
man.
Garza, big
right.
fan of the show. He helped us get Lucia June as our sponsor.
I'm gonna go first one. I'm gonna go with Julian.
Julian, go DM me.
Big time supporter. Get you $25 gift card
That's right.
to Olipop, and then I gotta find her. There is one girl that I was like, yep, she's one of them. I'm looking through right now. I'm scrolling up. I'm sorry.
Take your time. Take your time, John.
It was back when Bill Clinton called. Bill was very distracting. Can you guys text me who Bill was?
I don't know who Bill was.
No idea. Who
Oh,
Bill
you
was.
so know.
I do not know. Bill Clinton called.
Ooh, Matt, this looks pretty official, dude.
I don't have it. Tyler, send it to me.
All right.
Put it in the group text, Tyler.
I can't just be giving away my sources.
Jarrett.
Okay. I'm Judy Reed is the other
Judy.
one.
Judy. Good for you, Judy. Except for
Asians,
you're going to lose the game.
Asians for John Young. That's what did it for me.
Judy, make sure you message me.
Judy Reed.
Code.
Judy Reed and Julian Ifford. Is it Julian or Julian?
Julian.
Julian.
I'm going for with the French version.
How do you identify?
This does look pretty official. It would
I'm
be March
Irish,
11th.
but I identify as Korean.
The 2020 the CrossFit Open 2025 will kick off on March 11th with the announcement of the first workout. Athletes will then have 5 days to complete and submit their scores online. The Open will run for 3 weeks with a new workout announced each week, testing participants' strength, endurance, and mental fortitude. March 11th through the March 31st, which means the French Throwdown
Is outside the season.
outside the season. Does it mean
Anything.
this project?
You think that? So you think they're one of the World Fitness projects?
I don't know.
Where is he getting this?
Supposedly it was sent to affiliates.
Doesn't matter. He doesn't give his sources.
Affiliates got it.
If affiliates got it, we would have had it.
You would think, but
Dude, I mean, come on. We would have had it.
I don't know.
we got it. What are you talking about?
That's at least what's being
Dude,
circulated.
if affiliates had it, Halpin would have been on it. Is all I'm.
Woody.
Woody, do you think? I don't know. Glee, thank you.
All right, well, we'll figure it out on
Balding
Friday.
Big Daddies. Look at that.
I already gave the gift cards.
Big Daddy.
Jessica Valenzuela can do the open after 6 days after my due date.
Get it, Jessica. My wife's right
Do
there with
the
you.
Open. She could be like who was the Mayhem athlete? Nistler.
Hey,
Jesus.
hey now.
Ernie Garza, the generous Olipop. I'm going to ask my affiliate owner if he got anything.
No, Ernie. Right now.
Matt Day has no idea where his box owner got it from.
All right,
He's
Matt,
got a guy.
that sounds official.
Everybody's got a guy. You need a guy.
All right, guys. You never know. We may do a special show Friday. I don't know. Maybe it'll be important enough to do it.
Special
Otherwise,
edition. Do.
In the meantime, we will be back next week, and then set aside your calendars for the following Friday for betting with the boys.
Yes, sir.
You'll find out how I did this week, how John did.
Did you put my picks in, Tyler?
I was going to right after this show.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, here we go. All right, see you guys.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.